Hello, I'm MBX and welcome back to another episode of my TU38 Let's Play. This is a Let's Play I started after the most recent major update came out for Minecraft on the consoles, and which so far I've had quite a lot of fun with. As you can probably see by looking around, I built myself a couple of houses, I built myself a decent amount of city now, as it's slowly expanding each episode, and today I'm going to be building another part of that city. But because of the whole, battle thing that's been out, and it's been really all over my channel recently, I figured rather than just kind of abandoning that altogether, I wanted to start working a build that I've always wanted to do as soon as I saw the lobby of that game, and I want to try and recreate that lobby, but inside survival in Minecraft, because there's a lot of things I want to do with that lobby by controlling it. Like, for instance, I'd like to be able to see what it looks like in texture packs. I'd like to be able to do this and do that with it, and there's no real way to do that without building it myself, or getting someone else to build it, or something like that, and I figured, I really want to build this anyway, why not try it in survival? If you don't know, the battle minigame lobby is mostly built out of stuff like stone bricks, which I have quite a few of over here. It's mostly built from stuff like stone bricks, it's mostly built from stuff like wood, or, stuff you actually can do reasonably in survival, and I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it does inspire me, and today, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be trying to make the battle minigame lobby, but inside survival. So hopefully you do all enjoy the start of this kind of interesting challenge. Again, it's going to be a really, really bizarre one. It could go well, or it could go awfully. And yeah, today we're going to be trying to do that. So hopefully you all do enjoy this. If you do, like to let me know, because it helps out the channel a lot, and lets me know you do like these Let's Plays. Indeed, when I'm doing something like this, which I don't know what it is about me, but when it comes to like Minecraft goals, I feel like I play this game entirely different to most people. Like, I mean, most people are just, like, they have this set thing in their mind of like what a good or acceptable or whatever build is, and they just try to build those over and over again. To me, it's just like Minecraft is this game of like, okay, what do you want to do? I don't really want to do that. Let's do this instead. Let's do that and that. And you can see how this kind of schizophrenic's probably the best word, just bouncing from thing to thing to thing, kind of leads to some weird builds, but in my head, it's just like, yeah, this is how I love playing Minecraft, and today you're going to be seeing me attempt something which is going to be ridiculously hard, because the lobby and battle minigame, even though it is only maybe I guess it's like a 25 by 25 area, maybe even smaller than that, the kind of internals of it, and the amount of detail and stuff like that I'm going to have to build, is going to be just a little bit crazy. But again, it's not a challenge if it's not challenging, right? Maybe that sounds catchy enough to be true. So yeah, what we're going to first of all do, in case you're curious as to why we started doing this while we're talking, is I really need to actually kind of have a pathway to it, because if I don't plan around the pathway, then there'll be no way to get there, and there'll be no point of it existing. But this is where a pathway will exist at some point in the future. I could make it now out of stone bricks, or like out of, I know, dirt, or like out of wood. Actually, wood's not a bad idea, but instead I'll leave it blank, and then maybe I can fill that in later, because I think the actual build itself is an important place to start. So given that this is going to be the very front entrance, the one that's locked off that you can't actually get in, but I'll have a way in, I need to have it be roughly centered so I can go in both directions without impeding anything. If I go too far that way, I'll end up inside the sea, or I'll have to reclaim some land, which I don't really want to do, and if I go too far that way, I kind of ruin the grid system. So I'm thinking just here, so you look outside and you see the fountain over there. I mean, there'll be a fountain behind me too, but still, actually that fountain was inspired from the same thing, so I guess we've got like a head start there, and that means I should probably start building right over here. Boom, first block. This is the most monumental moment in any build. When you get that first block placed, you can suddenly feel everything, and your veins get magical, or something like that. So yeah, in case you are curious, I've got so many different blocks in my inventory because of this particular thing. And another thing, you probably won't notice it, but as I'm recording this, I just got like my ears properly fixed, and now I can like hear stuff again, and hearing my own voice, like, and actually hearing it at the proper depth and loudness and stuff is really, really crazy. Like, so wait, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks across, I'm pretty sure. So now we just do this over there. Did I do it the same? Okay, I did do it the same way. Minus this last block, which I just horribly messed that up. Because when it comes, like, you can actually place blocks over blocks for the most part, except with the case of flowers, where if you try to place something onto it, you'll place it like there. And that's a little annoying if you ask me. But that's that's not entirely my choice. But with that said, let's start focusing on these walls, because the first thing you need to have is the kind of main entrance. So this is relatively easy. I think it's just 6 blocks up and on both sides, and then you want to kind of arch over that with a thing. I'm pretty sure that's how this goes. So this can be 5 blocks up, then we go 6 blocks up, and then there's nothing really on top of this, I don't believe so, like there's some weird slabs and stuff, and then we go inwards, because we definitely want some of that over here, so just at least over here, and then we go upwards, and then we've got this kind of cover up here, so this will be 5 blocks across, and boom, now we've got ourselves a little bit of an entrance. We're going to need a whole bunch of stone bricks. I really underestimate just how many stone bricks I would need actually here. Like you can see, I'm like, oh, a whole stack, that should be good to build an entire lobby. Because realistically, this is just a thought change. But yeah, that's my... I'm really terrible at, like, saying anything, because I'll get, like, 20 seconds into some form of story, and then I'll be like, ooh, another thing I want to say. But yeah, because I can, like, hear better, kind of in the way that, you know, people who get, you know, like, contact lenses or glasses after a long time are like, wow, you can see the trees now. If you don't know, that's, like, a common thing people report, I think. That's what I noticed when I first was able to see with glasses. It's like, wow, you can, like, see individual blades of grass. That's what you're meant to be able to do. And it's going to be like that today, where I've been able to hear everything fully, and it's like, wow, you don't need to have the volume, you know, all maxed out on this or that to actually be able to hear it. Most people can understand it normally. That's why people are always complaining that it's too darn loud. It makes sense. But the biggest one, in my opinion, also I think that should be about right for the gate, right? Does that look like a gate to you? Should that be a gate on the inside of that? I'm not entirely sure. We'll just, again, keep on winging it. If you don't, when in doubt, wing it harder. That's my little strategy here. So, but yeah, basically, the same thing kind of happened with, like, being able to hear. Like, suddenly I can hear everything, like cars super, super loudly, and, you know, basically things are loud and unpleasant, which is never a great, amazing thing. But the thing in particular that was really interesting to me is I can hear hissing super loudly, like, the S sound in everything. So, like, like, you know, the tiniest S's, because I don't really pronounce S's too hard. Actually, most people don't. Like, you don't ever hear people go, there are slithering snakes along the sea bed. You know, people don't pronounce S's super hard, but I can just hear them with this massive kind of annoying thing, and it's like, well, that's a little bit annoying. And yeah, I imagine there's going to be a whole bunch of these that come up. And the point I'm just trying to get across here, by the way, I think natural regeneration might be turned off for some reason. Oh no, it's turned on. It's just I wasn't doing it, because I turned it off for one video, and then suddenly all my world said it turned off for a while, and I don't know what I did wrong there. But yeah, basically, does this look like the gate to battle, by the way? I think it does. I think, you know, we've obviously got so much work for even this one arc, but you can kind of see the start of something that's going to be great. Because now we need to remove all the floor here also, because with the exception of, like, one block, I think it's, like, perfectly over here. All of this, so we'll leave this as dirt, which I really should have just, you know, we goofed up. The rest of this, we're going to replace them with cobblestone now. So, just get all the way around here. Just pretend none of this... okay, our shovel is gone. But, yeah, we just need to replace all of this with cobblestone, because there is a cobblestone floor to this thing. And boom, just like that, it looks a little bit more like the lobby, right? Are you seeing it? I mean, again, we've got, like, so much to build on each side. You don't even realize how big a project it is till you start it, but that's a thing. But yeah, it's kind of interesting, like, there's, like, an entire sense that everyone has and you just don't have. And it makes you realize that the brain... it really is you know, a cool little thing, and I know a lot of people don't like to think of themselves as a brain, and if you don't, like, you can take this to mean the soul, or, like, the mind, or, like, I don't know, you can believe you are whoever you want to believe. In fact, interesting little point about that, I've mentioned this before, but I learned recently that the reason some people love inverted controls, if you don't know, a lot of people actually play Minecraft or other games with, so I think we go to controls here. It's it's invert look. So that means when I look up, it goes. Sorry, when I look down, it goes up. When I go down, it looks up. When I look up, it goes down. And this is you know, the default for a lot of, like, flight games. But also, it's just what, like, something like 10% of the population just like to play. And the reason for that is actually where you see yourself in your head. Like, certain people picture themselves as existing in the back of their head, you know? Like, I'm all the way back here with my brains, whereas some people picture themselves as being the eyes. And I know we're going into, like, an in-depth discussion about, you know, your head and stuff. But, you know, what's a better conversation to have? Well, I mean, what better a conversation to have over some Minecraft game? So, yeah, now we need to get another shovel, which means we need a crafting table. There aren't meant to be any around there, so we'll have to make a new one, but, like, put it somewhere subtle. So, right behind here. Sounds good to me. There probably shouldn't be acacia planks here, but you know, there are, and that's just a fact of life. So now what we can build is we can build ourselves some fences, for instance, because we need... actually, we need cobblestone slabs too, I think, or stairs at least. Yeah, let's build some stairs, because we definitely need at least some of these. I don't know how many. And then we definitely need some fences, which I think cobblestone fences are really easy to make. Yeah, it's just cobblestone walls, I should say. They're really, really easy to make, as it turns out. I'm going to need a whole bunch of these, because one of the bizarre things they decided to do in Building Battle is have a whole bunch of walls everywhere. Which, I mean, it's handy if you're building, because it means you just have to get a whole bunch of these. And look at this. Does it look a bit more like the battle area? Yeah, I'm starting to see it. I'm starting to feel like I'm playing battle minigames. Oh no, where's the timer? Oh, it's not. Okay, but yeah, we're real seriousness here. So yeah, for now I'm going to just leave this like this. I know we have to, at some point, address the whole, there's not going to be a way in and out of this, but for now, we can just keep putting the problem off. And putting problems off is one of the best ways to solve them, because eventually a lot of problems will just solve themselves. This is terrible life advice, but the way a lot of people get away with just not doing anything is because, again, a lot of problems genuinely will just solve themselves. You probably shouldn't just wait for them to do that, but if if in doubt, just do nothing, I guess. So yeah, now we need to put I think we put oak wood on both sides of this, and then we remove this block, and then we put one in the middle too. This is like a T of support that kind of connects the fence, which will be over here, to this for some reason. I don't know why it needs to be there, but it does. And then we have one on the other side too, so make sure it's parallel. And we go down here. By the way, if you're wondering, I am working on an image. I can't remember this perfectly. I remember the dimensions because the dimensions of of these battle maps, like, they're all really crazy and all over the place. Like, the artists who make these maps are, like, genuine professionals. I don't say that because it's like, oh, it's like, yeah, you just really like the 4J people and stuff. Like, they are people with art degrees from, like, serious universities in, like, Aberdeen and Dundee and stuff, which is Scottish cities, in case you're curious. And if you're not curious, then now you know anyway. But yeah, the brains are really crazy. Again, I feel like at some point I need to, like, take a course on, like, how to stay in one train of thought for more than 10 seconds. Because every now and then, people are just like, Toycat, finish that story, it was really interesting. And, in the comments, I'm like, oh yeah, I was telling a story about that time that I met insert person here. I don't think I've ever actually met anyone famous. I've seen a whole bunch of YouTubers, like, that are on the level where it's just like, I'm not going to say hello, because they're not even going to care in the slightest who I am. Which, that's happened a few times at least. But, so now if we put I think we're going to put some dirt back in this little hole here. And then we need to separate it from the cobblestone, though. I mean, from the grass, because we definitely don't want to do that. Okay, so we place some cobblestone just over here, and boom! Isn't that just wonderful? So yeah, now we need to make sure. I don't know. I'm slowly seeing this vision fill in, but we do need to make sure there's space over here so we can work on the rest of the vision. My inventory is so full. I'm considering just eating this pufferfish just to clear it up. Do you guys want to do that? Okay, we can't eat it till we have hunger. But yeah, pufferfish is one of the most fun things to eat. You get the nausea effect, which you can't otherwise get in Minecraft. Here we go, let's do this. Boom. Oh yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Doesn't this look way more lifelike when you've got the nausea effect? Are we actually going to die? Oh, we might genuinely die. Well, that was a poor decision. I didn't realize it lasted so long. I thought, okay, mistakes are made. Mistakes are made. Staying on my point, though, I need to go get myself some buckets. But now I have inventory space, it's so much easier. So, I really made a sacrifice for the team right there. Because what we're going to need... I forgot why we even need the water, honestly. There was definitely a reason. I went to get some water for some genuinely good reason. Well, maybe there was none, and we're going to keep it up. But yeah, now we need to go 7 blocks this way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then this right here is the start of like a gap between this and some other blocks. Now we need to take some of these... We don't have any stone bricks. Okay, this... my inventory is starting to become a bit of a mess, but we need to take some of that stone and turn it into stone bricks, which we need to turn into chiseled stone bricks, which is more than a bit of a mess. But do that, and then we need to make some slabs, which requires the... Oh my god. This is why you need given... Right? I know my inventory management is one of the worst things in the world. There's just one of those things where I'm like, yeah, I am so down with this. But yeah, the human brain is really, really cool and interesting. I will get back to this for because, like, a lot of the time, you kind of lie to yourself just to make things work. Because you really, most people, and or the brain in general, I should say, just really hates conflicting information. Like, I've seen a whole bunch of videos on this. I recommend it. I think there's one by CGP Grey. If, like, for instance, you cover up, one of your eyes. If you cut your brains in half, so there's like 2 kind of separate people in there, it kind of has the situation where your left brain won't tell your right brain information, it will just make it up instead, and that's a really common phenomenon. Okay, so now we got these, we need to go back to the crafting table and make the weird stone bricks that used to be really rare until they were craftable. Because fun fact, these used to be the rarest, I think they used to be the rarest block in the game, because you could only find them at jungle temples, but now they're kind of common. But yeah, let's do the counting again then. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then over there, and then 1, 2, 3, and then there, I think, as well as there, and then we'll do the same just over here. This is going to be where the kind of fountain goes around. We also need to dig some holes in the ground, which means we're gonna need a shovel, but given this inventory mess, I don't really know how to deal with that. In fact, should we just craft some glowstone now and get this whole thing done with? Because I kind of want to do that anyway. So let's make some fences, if that is possible. That is possible. I've got 3 fences. That's not as many as I'd like, but it'll do for now. And then we need to put, like, on both sides, kind of like this. Because then we can put some glowstone next to it. As long as we're just slowly, like, I don't want to go back and, like, admit that my inventory management's so bad I have to go back early. So I'm just going to try and deal with this. That's the challenge there. Yeah, the brain, like, your mind is so crazy and will convince you stuff, and it's like, if you can't trust yourself, can you trust anyone? And I guess the argument comes down to, can you trust yourself? And you might as well, because you are you. Like, you know, there's always the argument that everyone else in the world is a crazy killer robot, and that you're the only sane human. And it's a genuine, you know, human theory that anyone can come to, and anyone can be technically some amount of correct with. So if we place a block there and there, this is coming together. Like, it's very, very slow and subtle. Like, each step is being, like, massively removed from the last ones. But it is slowly getting there, and it is starting to feel a little bit good. So now we'll just throw these on the ground, because it's easier that way. Maybe I should just make a chest around here. Wait. Maybe I should just make a chest around here. That was like a light bulb moment in my head. And I can put all the building resources I need for this in there, rather than just cluttering up my life with them. So if I want to make, for instance, 2 glowstone, which I do, we can do so like this. Isn't that wonderful? So now we put some glowstone just below here. I think we messed everything up because these should be a block higher than they are. Yeah, we messed everything up. Okay, so again, this is why making sure you check and you get everything right and don't just assume it's right is important at every step. Otherwise, you'll make horrible, horrible mistakes like this, and there's no going back up. Because once you get to a certain point, there isn't any going back. So, for instance, that needs to be there, and then we need to cover this thing in trapdoors. But still, for now, that's pretty good. And that also means the blocks above them have to be higher. I don't know how we're gonna deal with this actually. Let's just assume there's a block here. Oh no, this is where the new glowstone should be. And then we'll just attach this fence on top of it. Except we can't because the stairs are here. Okay, wait. This can go up there. Wait, is this one block too high? No, okay, this is just right. So that means up there is where that stair's going. I should have another one in here, but for some reason I don't. Where did the other stick? There it is. Now we place that up there. See, and the tiny things like that are just like, they might ruin me one day, so let's just hope they don't. So, with that said, now we need to put this on top of there somewhere. I think there is fine. As you can see, it doesn't connect entirely, but we've got a whole bunch of stuff. Like, this is one of those projects that I know I'm going to be working on for so long, and I think it's always great to have a giant project like this that you really, really want to do, because it's going to actually help me with videos and stuff, so I can be like, well, it's one of those things I can justify just spending a bunch of time on, because it's basically helping the channel in a whole bunch of ways. So the other thing we're going to do, just kind of help this along, is start the wall along here. There is a giant wall that goes 10 blocks, I believe. In fact, let's just do the whole 10 blocks. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Do the same on the other side. Just to start, you know, the feeling of it like starting to surround you, sinking in. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So yeah, we're gonna have to deal with this. I might just blow it up at some point just for giggles. But now you can see, like, can you guys like to me at least, one of my favorite moments is like when you start to see something and it slowly takes form, and I'm really starting to get that today. So yeah, even though we haven't made the massive amount of progress in the last 20 or so minutes, it's been a pretty cool little ride. So now we place 3 blocks along there, 3 blocks along there. We need to then, I believe, make these blocks out of stone brick as well, and then like kind of have like a staircase down, which is going to be kind of tricky. In fact, this whole thing needs to be dug out and, yeah, turned into what I just mentioned. Again, things are going to be a little bit bizarre. And then just over here, it's the same thing where it's 1, 2, 3. Going to be another one of those weird blocks, and then just down here, this is going to be made out of these blocks. And yeah, we might not have completed everything today, but we have lit it up, which, now that I think about it, why is the lobby lit up? Like, it never needs to be. That is just a random requirement. But yeah, we've started to really work on one corner. We've got one centerpiece mostly done. You know, it's come together for the most part. You can see the kind of vision in there. There's a lot of like texture blocks, like for instance, if I just throw some cobblestone all over the place, like if I throw a block over there and a block over there, and for instance, you can slowly make it start to feel a bit more natural. But for the most part, we have got the entrance done, we've got the basic structure done, and now we just need to surround it on all sides. This is going to be a very big project that I will be coming back to multiple times, but I think today I have run out of time. Also, I've got food to eat, and also, I'll be in Sweden for the next week, so I will probably have to record next week's episode at some point in the next coming days, because Obviously, I'll be taking my PlayStation 4 there. And yeah, it's going to be a great little trip. I'm looking forward to it. And if there's anything you want to see in Sweden, you can let me know in the comments, and I'll read it, and then maybe I'll do it on the second channel, because I'll be probably vlogging in some form. But yeah, anyway, thank you all very much for watching this video on the internet, because I will see you all in the next video on the internet. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.